good. Thanksgiving officially over, but your food probably isn't gone.
Unless you had a really big party. You only have a few days, though, before your leftovers are going to go bad. So we want to bring in today an expert to help us walk through this. Breanna Killeen is a chef with Super Cubes. She joins us this afternoon with a few ideas how you can keep those leftovers good for weeks to come. Breanna, thank you for joining us. Happy belated Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much for having me.
First question, just a couple of things we need to understand for food safety. We want to know, what is the timeline with your food? Let's say it was prepped and cooked on Thursday. How many days is it good in the fridge as is?
As is 4 days, but you know, we get to today, we've had 1 day of leftovers. Everybody's still excited. You get to tomorrow, everybody's like, starting to not really dig the turkey. You get to Sunday and everybody's like, I'm done. You know, and it's just time. What do you do then?
Right.
Well,
so
I have.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you've got a couple things you can show us. I'm curious. So if we're going to freeze it, I know there's different ways to freeze it, but if we're going to freeze it, like, does that need to be done within a day or two, or can you take it to the end of its fridge life and then look to freezing?
You can take it to the end of its fridge life, so 4 days, and then pop it into the freezer. Absolutely.
Great. All right. So sometimes, you know, those same leftovers, they can get a little boring. Although not for me, because I could eat it like all week long. What can we do to mix them up? What can we do to mix them up a little bit?
Well, I have two options for you, Steve. I made a turkey Thanksgiving kit for you. So I'm using Super Cubes. These are portioned silicone freezer trays. So this is the 1 cup tray. So I've got 1 cup of stuffing, 1 cup of cranberry, 1 cup of squash, and 1 cup of shredded turkey. This would be Steve's Thanksgiving kit, and you would put it in the freezer, just pop the lid on, and then you'd be ready to go anytime you want. For those of us that get a little bored with our Thanksgiving leftovers, one of the things that I really love to do is make twice baked potatoes from your mashed potatoes. And again, I froze them in some Super Cubes. And this time I'm going to show it to you frozen. So they pop right out. So anytime you want to eat them, here you go. And actually, I added some broccoli and cheddar to this too. I have kids, and it's a good way to get them to eat those frozen to eat those leftover mashed potatoes without them even knowing that they're leftover.
So there's really some value in, as we freeze them, however we choose to freeze them, either doing it ahead of time like it's going to be a meal selection, so you go back in and you have everything you might want in portions, kind of like Thanksgiving meal, 6 months later. Or it is a matter of like re-cooking, like recipes, I guess, just kind of mixing things up, right? I mean, I don't know if you've got any you'd throw out there at us, because I'm always looking for good ways to like repurpose my turkey and my potatoes.
Exactly. Well, and I have an example for you for your turkey. So you have that leftover turkey, right? And you want to kind of go in between. So you don't want to eat it plain just as is, but you also want to meal prep and make it easier for yourself down the line. So I'm actually taking some barbecue sauce and I'm going to mix it with my turkey as is. And then after you mix that up, freeze it. So you already have your barbecue turkey, and you can make turkey sloppy joes, or turkey sliders, and just get some fresh slaw and get some broccoli, some brioche rolls. Another thing that is really great with it is you could make quesadillas with it. And when you freeze it in portions, you're not having to defrost all of the turkey that you already made. You can just defrost a little at a time. So when you think ahead and you're meal prepping, you're like, oh, I'll have quesadillas this week. Pop out a cube, throw it into the microwave, and then you have just enough for that night.
Breanna Killeen, we appreciate it. You could do this with any sort of household item that you could use to kind of hold. So if you got like the Tupperware at home, you can use something like that. We appreciate you taking the time. Thanks so much.